Hey guys, Scott here. How's it going? So I'm currently on the Eurotunnel heading over to France to pick up my lovely girlfriend Sophie and her little dog Stormy. And heading over to Calais. And it's a Friday, and this is usually the day that I work on my videos for the following week. But I do not have, obviously, the time today to do that. So I thought I'd shoot a video from the car, and I'd figure out on the drive here what that video would be. So I decided I'm going to tell you about the story that goes to the song that I posted this week on YouTube. That song being I Don't Want to Live Without You, which is a sort of early Valentine's present for my girlfriend Sophie. And the story behind the song is kind of wild. It dates all the way back to 2021 when I was gigging with the Tokyo Sex Whales, and we had a gig that didn't go great because of illness, because of people having COVID and all sorts of stuff, and we didn't play our best. And so I said to Tom, my bass player, who you've seen in a bunch of videos, we need to get together, we need to rehearse before the next gig. We need to be tighter when we start gigging in January. So in January we meet up, and by this time Tom has he's met this girl at his shoe shop, and they've gone for this like romantic rendezvous up in the Lake District. And as we're catching up before we start rehearsing, he starts telling me about the story, and Tom would sort of like, you'd catch up with him, but he would sort of like noodle away on the bass while you caught up. And so he's noodling away, and he's talking about what's happened. And I'm listening to him like, and I'm trying to focus on what he's saying, which is this lovely romantic story, but what he's playing on the bass is really cool. He's doing this little bass line that goes do do did do did do did do, and he's just noodling around that for ages. So I just stealthily kind of put my phone on record and recorded the bass line, but also it picked up what he was saying, and so I sort of got Tom's whole kind of romantic story on tape unintentionally. And so later on, when I was looking for a new track to work on, I was looked through my old audio files on my phone, and I found that recording. And I was listening back to it, and obviously I'm trying to hone in on the bass line, but this time, like, the story that Tom's telling is hitting me more. In fact, they met in his shoe shop, and they went off to the Lake District together, and they had this romantic weekend together, and then she had to get in a plane and fly away. And it really struck me that what this song needed to be about was that story, right? That's what it needs to be about. So I started working on it and putting lyrics together, and it was about this. I was taking the lines from the conversation and putting them into lyrics. So that made up the bulk of the song. And the I Don't Want to Live Without You is, she's flying away. You don't want to be apart, but unfortunately, that's what's happening. You can hear the announcement from the Eurotunnel above. Anywho, so I put the song together, and it's really fun, but I get to a point halfway through where I'm like, I don't know quite where to take this now, because she flew off and he moved to Somerset, and then I didn't get the next part of the story. So I thought, maybe it's just one of these songs that's going to drift into the ether and never be finished. But later that year, Sophie, who I mentioned at the beginning, came back into my life, and me and Sophie, we'd known each other since 2004, and we had a period of time where we wrote a lot of songs together before I went to Winchester to university and before she moved to Indonesia. And so in 2022, that summer, we met up again and started making music together again, and it was really, really exciting. And as we hung out, I found myself developing feelings for her, which wasn't the best thing in the world because she was in a relationship, and so I did everything I could to kind of kill those feelings and push them aside. And she eventually flew back to Indonesia, and I dropped her off at the airport, and as I was driving away from Gatwick Airport, I was feeling all these things, all these feelings I couldn't express, and I had I Don't Want to Live Without You come back in my head again. And I hadn't thought about the song in a while, but that story about falling in love with someone and then them flying away, suddenly it was no longer just a story about my friend and this girl. It was a song that was really personal to me, and by the time I got home, the rest of the song came to me. I knew where to take it. and it came together. And yeah, and there's another section in the song I think I kind of have to explain. There's I created a whole language in the song to basically say I love you, which is the language of Rangu. And the reason I do that is because when me and Sophie would hang out, she would just start talking in Indonesian on the phone to people, and I'd be so oblivious as to what she was saying. She could be saying anything, yeah, but I didn't know, and so it always seemed like an alien language to me whenever she talked in Indonesian. So I wanted a section in the song which was kind of noises, and I came up with this Yasayam Malau section, and I thought that's cool, but I want there to be a reason for that. I don't want it to just be random noises. So I edited the end of the bridge where it says, I miss all the funny things you do with those silly little words in Rangu, Yasayam Malau, and it comes back. So hopefully at that point in the song you've forgotten about the fact it happens at the beginning, and when it hits you again you go, oh yeah, this little catchy bit, and it's back. And so yeah, that is the story of the song. Obviously it has a happy ending because things worked out for me and Sophie, because I'm on the Eurotunnel driving to get her, which is insane. Never thought I'd be here doing this, but here we are. Life is strange. Life takes us in all sorts of different directions, and our love story is an epic one, and it's a story I'll be talking a lot about on the channel this year and going forwards. I'm in my my love song era, which is great. Anyway, if you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. I imagine it's been quite a long one, but thank you very much. I'll let you know how the French trip goes. Stay awesome, guys. Peace. Au revoir.